أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's begin. If you can, just for a moment, close your eyes. Now, what if I told you there's another eye inside of you? An eye that isn't made of flesh, but of pure light. An eye that can actually see the infinite. Today, we're going to delve into the deep, beautiful Sufi wisdom of Ibn Arabi, all about the heart that truly sees.
Now, before we really dive in, it's so important to mention that this whole exploration is a compilation of insights from Mir Ali Shah, a seeker who shares this incredible wisdom through the Inner Horizon podcast. We're just really grateful to be able to walk through these ideas with you today.
All right, so let's start with the big mystery itself. This idea of a spiritual vision, a kind of seeing that goes so far beyond what our two physical eyes can ever show us.
I mean, have you ever really wondered about that? Is there a part of us, a way of perceiving that we've maybe forgotten about or just overlooked in our busy lives? Well, the Sufi masters would say, oh, absolutely, yes. And what's so amazing here is how directly Ibn Arabi says this. He's not just speaking in metaphors. He's describing what he sees as a real, though often dormant, capacity that every single one of us has, the eye of the heart.
Okay, so if this eye exists, what's it for? What's its real potential? Well, this is where it gets mind-blowing. Ibn Arabi shows us that the heart's capacity is nothing short of miraculous. It's like it was designed to be a vessel for the divine.
He explains that the heart kind of has two faces. One face is always turned toward the material world. Our jobs, our worries, our desires. And for most of us, that's where we live our entire lives, just focused on that one side. But there's another face, a face that's turned toward the spiritual world, towards the eternal. The saints, they're the ones who learn how to turn this second face toward the divine.
And this metaphor is just brilliant. It perfectly illustrates the heart's true position. Just think about it. The Kaaba in Mecca is the physical center for millions of believers, right? Well, your heart is the spiritual Kaaba of your own inner world. Every thought, every breath, every act of devotion, it all becomes a kind of pilgrimage, circling this sacred space inside of you.
Just let that sink in for a moment. This is a sacred saying, a hadith Qudsi. The sheer vastness of the heavens and the earth, all of creation can't contain the divine presence, and yet the polished heart of a sincere servant can. This just shows you the heart's true limitless potential. It is actually vast enough to reflect the infinite.
So if our hearts have this absolutely incredible capacity, why are most of us completely blind to it? Why does this inner mirror stay so dusty and unreflective? Let's take a look at the obstacles.
Ibn Arabi calls these the veils. You can really think of them as layers of dust and grime just caked onto the mirror of your heart. Things like pride, anger, greed, our constant fears and attachments. And maybe the biggest one of all, heedlessness, which is basically a state of forgetting who we are and our connection to the divine. Every single one of these things clouds our inner vision.
But this isn't a hopeless situation, not at all. The Sufi path is, at its core, a really practical one. It gives us clear, time-tested methods for polishing that inner mirror to finally achieve clarity.
So here are 5 of the keys. First, there's remembrance, or dhikr, the constant repetition of God's name, which literally acts like a cloth wiping away the dust. Then there's humility, which cracks the hard shell of our ego. Detachment, which frees our heart from all those worldly chains. Silence, which finally allows the heart to listen. And last but not least, love, which makes the heart big enough to see the divine in everything.
And when this polishing is done with real sincerity, the inner eye opens. There's an Arabic word for this awakened sight, basira. It's a vision of certainty. It's not just about seeing things anymore. It's about seeing the divine reality, the spiritual life force that holds all things together.
So, what happens when this basira actually awakens? I mean, what does it feel like? It's a huge shift in the very fabric of how you perceive everything.
And here's the real secret. The world outside of you, it stays the same. The trees are still trees, people are still people. But your inner vision is what's transformed. You start to see through the outer form to the inner essence, and suddenly the most mundane, ordinary world starts to shine with this extraordinary light.
To make it really plain, you might look at a tree and not just see wood and leaves, but you'll actually perceive the divine life force that's keeping it alive. You'll meet someone and you won't just see their face. You'll get a glimpse of the soul inside them, a reflection of that same divine light that's shining in you. You start to see the unity behind all the diversity.
So we've walked through the concept, the potential, the problem, and the path to the solution. And now we get to the most important part of all, the personal invitation. You see, Ibn Arabi's teachings,
were never meant to be some kind of dry philosophy locked away in old books. They're a living, breathing map to a totally transformed reality. This isn't just something to think about, it's an invitation to experience it for yourself.
And the journey doesn't require some huge, dramatic gesture. It starts with one simple, small step. Tonight, or maybe even right now, just find a quiet spot. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Put your hand on your heart and with real sincerity just whisper His name. Allah, Allah, Allah. Let the sound just sink into your chest. That's it. That is the beginning of polishing the mirror.
And so we'll leave you with this final thought to carry with you. Take a moment for a really honest look inside. Is your heart's mirror covered in the dust of the world, reflecting only distractions and worries? Or is it being polished, starting to gleam with the light of the eternal? What is your heart reflecting today?